Welcome to All For You Books, where we want you to tell them about where you've been before they get there. Week 1, Story 1, Jesse Owens. Of all people, he should have understood. He should have known. Everyone says we look just alike, that he spit me out with the same tiny mouth, broad shoulders, and skin as black as closed eyes. He had to have been through what I go through every day, getting called names like Blackie and Midnight because of my dark complexion. He had to know how the words land on the surface and dig down deep into the soul. How there comes a time when you just can't take it anymore, and enough is enough. For me, that point came when I walked home from school and Mikey yelled from across the street, "You so black, you sweat coffee." My eyes zeroed in on him, and I marched across the street with no regard for an approaching Civic. Ignoring the 2 years and 30 pounds he had on me, I got in his grill and stood so close I almost kissed his chin. "Blood, you better get out of my face before you get hurt," he warned through a smile. I didn't give myself a chance to think about the stupidity of confronting a gangbanger. I closed my eyes, reached back to gather as much momentum as I could, and swung with all my strength. It connected with the side of his face, and I could feel the shifting of his jawbone. I grunted with the contact and exhaled all the anger I felt from getting clowned all the time. Unfortunately, my punch didn't quite get across the anger. When I opened my eyes, he stood smiling, totally unaffected by my blow and irritated by my disrespect. The stupidity I mentioned earlier hit me full force, and I knew I messed up big time. Since I knew my end was near, I did what any sensible 11-year-old boy would have. I ran. I booked out of there so quick, my front door slammed before Mikey could even start chasing me. I jetted past my parents and into the bathroom, where I sat on the closed toilet, wishing I had never got out of bed in the morning. I heard my brother, Malcolm, come in the door, but I thought he would at least settle in before snitching. But he didn't, and he talked so excitedly I heard him through the door. "Daddy, you remember when you told us about that track dude, Jesse Owens? You should have seen Jamal running down the street. I ain't never seen him run so fast." He told my daddy everything, and seconds after he finished, I heard a knock on the door. I didn't really worry about him tripping too much because he had to understand what it felt like to have people talk about you all the time because you're so dark. He had to know what I had been through, felt what I felt, and why I did what I did. "Your brother says you ran like a track star today." I smiled at the thought of how fast I ran. "I guess so." "What else did I tell you about Jesse Owens?" he asked. I had to think for a while. How he won all those gold medals running in Germany, where Hitler tried to prove that all white people were better than everybody else. So the same black you feel ashamed about is the same black Jesse Owens ran to defend. My daddy stopped talking, and I don't think he wanted me to say anything either. It seemed like one of those times where it would be better if I just thought about what he said. And when I thought about it, I agreed with him. Jesse Owens whooping up on those Germans didn't just make light-skinned people proud, it made all black people proud. So being called black is never something I should be ashamed about. When he figured I learned what I needed to, he continued, "Now get your butt up, let's go." I stood because I had to, but I didn't get the courage to ask him where we were going until we reached the front door. Jesse Owens didn't run from a challenge, and neither are you. You going back out to be a man and stand up to that German. Thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, and do what you gotta do. Peace.